When the new king's decree befell this land, a wave of new ideology swept furiously along the plains and buried deep into the minds of man, woman, and child. The old ways were no more, a rejection of savagery, a shift to enlightenment, and a chance for the delinquents to turn their back on a life of sin. One last chance to save our souls, yank us from the darkness we called home, and lurch us forward into the light. Many tears were shed as centuries of tradition peeled away overnight, and millions found themselves lost, wandering and alone in a world without a purpose. Left long enough to their devices, deplorables will find a way to break their shackles, seek out the cracks amongst the paper-thin laws, and tear them to shreds. So, what is a king to do? Give in to those who seek to destroy his utopian vision, or smash them with enough force to send their souls to oblivion? No, neither would suffice, and both would only seek to embolden the cycle of ruin. So what choice did the young king have? Like many before him, secret compromise was his only option, and I could have never guessed that our humble town would be his solution. At the dead of night on one summer's eve, 4 riders entered town with no time to spare. Knights of the king bearing a wax-sealed letter, his sigil embossed proudly within, and bound to my eyes only. By candlelight and rampant curiosity, I scanned the words again and again, reading each word carefully, taking in each phrase and statement, ensuring to understand his proposition. Confusion was rife. Questions of doubt reared their ugly head, yet the more I indulged, the clearer the picture became. The king's words started to click, the cloud upon my mind began to evaporate, and the pieces of his well-crafted jigsaw were slotting into place. A wry, wicked smile crossed my lips, excitement building within, a childlike giddiness bubbling. I couldn't help but conjure thoughts of endless possibilities. Lost within dreams of grandeur, physically pulling myself from the page, I happily sat back to take stock of the offer at hand and awaited my guest's next words. A game of silent cat and mouse ensued, and a stalemate persisted before the king's men folded and made the first move. So, what will it be? Speak quickly, Snake. The longer your forked tongue wags, the closer I come to cutting it from your mouth. His words were firm and true. Now, lapdog, that is no way to speak to a man in his own home. Even if you were quick enough to draw your blade, you'd be lucky enough to leave here with your head, I retorted, matching his threat with purpose and snapping my fingers. His eyes widened in fear as my men emerged in silence from the shadows, daggers glinting in the light and kissing at the throats of his comrades. Let's try again, shall we? I'll forgive your misstep and assume that your long journey has flooded your mind with foolishness. A nod was all that was necessary for my men to ease their blades, and as I rested back, I enjoyed watching the king's fools shift awkwardly in their skin, only breaking the silence once I knew the discomfort had sunk beneath. And what should be the consequences should I reject our good king's proposal? I queried with a hint of sarcasm, knowing all too well the answer. Then by the break of dawn, you and the vermin that scuttle amongst the streets of your precious town will be wiped from existence. I smiled at the resurgence of confidence flowing through him, and secretly admired his bravery, especially given his life remained at my fingertips. Of course, how silly of me. There never is much wriggle room when it comes to royalty. These delinquents, we'll be free to deal with them however we see fit, no matter the preferred method, I questioned with a sickening smile and never-ending eye contact. The sudden realization of his compliance with such reprehensible, heinous, and ungodly acts hit him with full force, and his face dropped a shade paler. Whatever you sick monsters decide to do is no concern of ours. As long as you uphold your end of the agreement, you'll be free to live out your disgusting fantasies. I reveled in his loathing and detest for a moment, soaking it in and gulping down every last morsel. Taking my fill, I stood up slowly from my chair, letting out an uncontrollable dark cackle, and met his gaze at eye level. Then so be it. Inform the king. We have a deal.